program. It's time for Talk to the Publishing Club. They always have something fantastic going on there. Interesting speakers, interesting events, and today is no different. I want to welcome to the program Barbara Torino and Ellie Uzzo. Thank you for joining us.
Hello, thank you for having me.
Izzo.
That's it.
Uzzo's the drink, yes.
Yeah.
We'll avoid that this early in the morning. Thanks for joining us. Let's talk about what you guys have going on, the latest and greatest over at the Publishing Club.
Okay, well, this month we have an event called I Am Me First. It's an event that I created many years ago. Kind of an interesting story. My avocation is acting, and I was doing a show where I had to scream and cry. And Barbara doesn't scream and cry. So I worked with a coach a little bit, trying to get me vulnerable, and he said, I want you to write a story, the story of Barbara. I want you to write it, direct it, produce it, star in it, and be the audience.
Oh, wow, okay.
Okay. So he gave me some exercises, and during one of the exercises, I started to cry. And I went and I sat down and I wrote the first I Am Me story. And it was such a wonderful experience for me, and when I shared it with people, they reported just an uplifting feeling. So I realized everybody has a story that has impacted them in some way, physically, emotionally, maybe spiritually. And if we can have a venue for them to write about it and then share it, it would be a very cathartic experience for the speaker and a wonderful experience for the audience.
So I Am Me First, why that title? What did you want to deliver with that message?
Well, when I wrote the story, I said, this is the story of me. And then I said, well, it's kind of I am me. And you know, we could analyze the difference between I and me and all that went into it, but it just felt right. And then I Am Me First is kind of you need to look inside first and find out what has impacted your life and how it has affected or changed you. And if you can identify that, be brave enough to write about it and then share it with an audience, it's an amazing experience.
Now, Ellie, you've participated in the program as well.
Yes.
What drew you to the idea and the concept of this?
Well, I had met Barb. I was blessed enough to work with her as an actor. She was a director of a couple of shows we've done, and she had shared this idea. And after 40 years of being a psychologist, it got my attention immediately, because there's something about expressing oneself in a creative way without analysis paralysis, just sharing. The power of storytelling is extremely healing in its orientation. So to be able to share some aspect of one's experience, to lean into that while people in the audience are bearing witness to your story, has a profoundly healing effect on the participant.
Yeah. Is there a catharsis just to being heard sometimes without any feedback?
Yes, like sometimes that's all wrapped up in a bow just by itself, nothing else needed.
Okay.
And this type of vehicle offers just that, because you could be as creative, you could present your narrative on many different levels and different dimensions. It's up to the participant. And under Barb's incredible guidance, you really come out with a story that's respected. You receive compassion and empathy from the audience, and so its impact is wonderful for everyone involved.
Okay. Barbara, we're going to have a slide for the event. I want to put it up on the screen to tell us a little about where people can go, how do we get in there?
Yes, it's Wednesday, June 19th, Clubhouse 3, Dining Room 2. And anyone is invited to come.
Is there a big lineup of folks? How many presenters are we going to see? Or
Just me that day.
just you? Oh,
Yes.
so your own show? Okay.
I'm going to work with that group, and I always design the event towards the group. So this is the Pub Club, so these are published authors.
Right.
And so we're going to be talking about their stories as it involved writing the book. Why did they write the book? How did they pick the story and the
You're
genre?
a published author too. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yes.
Yeah, we have your book cover to take a look at.
Well, as I said, I've been acting for 40 years, and I realize that a lot of the things that I do on stage can be used in the business environment or in your own life. So I wrote some of those down, getting your act together, how to use the skills of the thespian in your business or in your personal life. So.
Now, Ellie, how do you feel like you've participated in the program, you've experienced it? What did you get from it? When you walked away from that, did you say, okay, wow, that really gave me this, X?
Well, you know, I chose a story that was about some unresolved childhood business that I had, and I used an example in my story of having to sit at the table and finish one's dinner. You have to eat your dinner, and you're not going to move till you finish. And so I did a little skit around that, a descriptive thing. It included pickled beets, which as a child I didn't like. Well, it was very interesting. Once I got it out, everyone listened, they clapped, they understood. The next time I went shopping, I bought some pickled beets. I thought, wow, back in the day, I wouldn't go near it, I wouldn't touch it. So something had shifted for me
Some sort
in
of
the telling
resolution.
of that narrative. And it's
Wow.
been such an improvement as far as eating and the issues I used to have around food.
And you're like, I mean, like you said, you're a professional, you work in this field,
Yeah.
but somehow this experience was a whole different approach for you.
So much better, because if you're a mental health professional and you go in for your traditional therapy, you almost know on the front end what the therapist is going to tell you. It's really sometimes difficult to get some benefit. But in this situation, you just, as I said, leaning into your own experience, embracing your own experience, and letting it be, just being in that space. And it really has a very powerful impact on the participant.
And much less expensive.
Oh, yes.
That's true.
The
You guys
price is right.
You guys are only, it's free for members and $5 for guests. That's a pretty good
You
deal.
can't get better than that.
So your presentation, are you excited about it? Are you pretty much have it down?
Oh yeah,
ready to go?
I'm always excited about it, and the Pub Club is a wonderful group. They are participatory, and I think we're going to have some fun.
All right, one more time before we go. Real people telling real stories. I Am Me First. It's going to be Wednesday, June 19th, 2 to 4 p.m., Clubhouse 3, Dining Room 2. Members, like I said, are free. Guests are $5. Ellie and Barbara, thank you so much for joining us today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you,
Thank
Michael.
you so much for having us.